Health sector and women in Muhoroni area in the county of Kisumu are beneficiaries of the first of its kind human papilloma virus HPV testing and treatment mobile clinic. The clinic is set to target 10,000 women in the area, and this comes at a time that cervical cancer remains to be the second leading cause of cancer among women in Kenya after breast cancer. NTV's Helen Aura has the details.
Bright and Ali, women from various villages in Muhoroni area in the county of Kisumu, came out in large numbers in efforts to know their statuses. For Rose Aoko and Irina Cheng, this was their first time going through a screening experience. Once inside the compound, the ladies were required to register first before they were taken through a sensitization brief on how to collect the samples.
Najisikia tu sawa. Na hata ilikuwa ni process rahisi, hakuna uchungu nasikia.
Despite the stigma surrounding cervical cancer, the community health volunteers have played a pivotal role in easing the burden.
Nilijulishwa na mhudumu wa afya aliyekuja kwetu na nikaona ni vyema pia niende nijue hali yangu. Na ningependa wamama wajitokeza pia kwa vitu kama hivi ili kujua afya yao.
Data from Global Can shows that cases of cervical cancer among women in Kenya have been on an upward trend. There were at least 5,236 new recorded cervical cancer and UTI cases in 2020, with 3,211 deaths recorded. Cervical cancer cases come second to breast cancer infections in the country. The initiative, which is in partnership between Cure Cervical Cancer and the Kisumu County Government, will identify women who are at risk of getting cervical cancer. The program is targeting at least 10,000 women in the county. The goal is to have 3 to 4 mobile clinics each week with the capacity to test at least 188 women at each clinic.
So normally the screening opportunities are few and far between. They're long distances. Women don't have access. From here, the closest health facility where you could get screening and treatment is 1 hour by private car. So we have women who are not accessing screening and treatment because, one, they don't know that they need it. They don't have the knowledge, the awareness. And two, they don't have the time to prioritize preventative care.
Cervical cancer is caused by the human papilloma virus, HPV 16 and 18, which is passed from one person to another during sexual contact. Most people have HPV at one point in their life and their bodies could fight it off. Those most susceptible are women who are 30 years and above.
Women they will self-screen. They will have a little swab, it's like a Q-tip, and get a little fluid, put it into a little test tube. We'll gather up to 90 of these test tubes. Our lab is mobile, and it's right around the corner. And we have a lab tech in the mobile clinic, and he will run the 90 samples in our HPV testing machine. During this hour and a half, the women are being educated on cervical cancer and breast cancer and nutrition.
Other factors that can increase the risk of cervical cancer are intimacy at an early age, multiple sexual partners, sexually transmitted diseases, and smoking cigarettes.
It's a simple process using a speculum to visualize the cervix, using vinegar to spray on the cervix to see if the woman is eligible for the type of treatment that we have today, which is thermal ablation treatment. Thermal ablation treatment treats cervical precancer, and it takes seconds. Usually the entire treatment will be less than 2 minutes. It's painless, and it's 85 to 90% effective. So now these women who are treated here today can go home with the confidence and the peace of mind that we have treated any abnormalities on their cervix, and that they have a very low chance of developing cervical cancer from that point.
Women who are identified as not being eligible for the treatment due to the advanced stage of the cancer are then referred to health facilities in the county. They have to wait for at least an hour and a half to get their results. On this day, out of the 147 women present, 13% tested positive for HPV 16 and 18. Irina Cheng went home confident that her efforts to come for a checkup had paid off. As for Rosa Oko, she was diagnosed with pre-cervical cancer cells and had to undergo the ablation treatment procedure.
Wakati ambapo nilielezwa kwamba kuna uwezekano kwamba niko na chembe ambazo ziko na kansa, nilikuwa na wasiwasi. Lakini namshukuru Mungu kwamba yule mhudumu wa afya ambaye alizungumza na mimi alinielekeza katika shughuli nzima, na kwa sasa nimepokea matibabu. Sikuhisi uchungu wakati huo, lakini nashukuru Mungu na nimefurahia kwamba nilipokea matibabu.
Cervical cancer continues to be the leading cause of cancer deaths among women in Kenya. Even with the initiative to introduce the HPV vaccine among girls, majority of women tend to show signs and symptoms at a later age. Hence the need for regular quality healthcare checkups, and to an extent at a convenience, especially to women in rural areas. Helen Aura, NTV.